Hi everybody, good afternoon. How are you doing today? Oi Tati. Hi Ryan, how are you sweetie? Oi ho. Everybody ready to learn a delicious Italian recipe? Can be French too, they will argue the point. Hi. How are y'all doing? Did you have a good week? I'm gonna try to turn this light on. Yeah, that gets better, right? Not too much reflection. Yeah, I got a little more light. I don't want to turn this light on because it gives reflection on the cooktop. And then it looks like really weird, you see? So without that one. Oi, Fê! Zabaglione, Italian dessert. The French call Sabayon. My mother loved it. Used to eat it, and I found disgusting at that time until I learned how to make it, and then now I really like it. Let's just see if some more people join us. Did you guys ever eat Sabayon? Ever make it? Failed? Yeah, you ate it. My sous chef, he ate it because I made it. Well, let's get started. So what we have here now, get this. I'm making half of the recipe. By the way, the recipe is already posted on my blog, and you can reach my blog through the bio on my Instagram, Cooking Together with Alex the Chef account, okay? I also put the link on Facebook, so you should be able to get it. And today, at the end of this demo, you also get a bonus recipe because I'm gonna show you what I made with this cream. You know, besides the regular traditional dessert, I made something red, blue, and white for, you know, Memorial Day weekend, so it's kind of fun, okay? So what I have here is half of the recipe of what is posted because it does make a lot, and yesterday we ate all the testers, so we got a lot of Sabayon in our tummies already. But you will see that it actually triples in volume, so it makes a considerable amount. So I have here with me today 2 egg yolks. Then I have, this is another one of those, so remember me, right? Remember that I'm not really a pastry chef, so I like to use recipes that have ratios. So this one has a 1.5 to 2 ratio for each egg yolk, and it's so easy to remember. It's 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of the wine of your choice, right? Zabaglione is a sweet custard with a wine in it. Traditionally, it's a wine from Sicily called Marsala. But you could do it with port, you could do it with sherry, you could do it with vin santo. Some people even do it with some sort of champagne, a sweeter champagne. You could do it with fruit juice. If you don't want to do alcohol, you could add some orange juice at the end, or you could do with extracts. You could do vanilla extract, almond extract. So it's very flexible. Some people even do it just with sugar, okay, and a little lemon zest or something. So 1.5 to 2 tablespoons per egg yolk of the sugar, and 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of the wine per egg yolk. Why this range? If I make the cream to eat with berries alone, I'll do it a little less sweet. But I'll show you later the dessert I made where I fold some whipped cream to it, and the whipped cream is plain, it's just the cream whipped to stiff peak. And in that case, I make the custard a little sweeter and a little stronger on the booze, so that when you fold with the whipped cream, you know, it doesn't fade away. And you don't have to season the whipped cream. So here I have 1.5 tablespoons of sugar, just white granulated sugar. And then I have 1.5 tablespoons of Marsala wine. You can find that in the wine section in your supermarket. If it's difficult, use port, okay? I'm gonna use a whisk, and later on, I'm going to use the silicone spatula. 1 second, I'm gonna bring my water to a boil. This is cooked on a double boiler. So 1 second to talk about science here because I have to, right? So first of all, this is a whisk. In Brazil, we call it a fouet. This is a balloon whisk. Look at it. It looks like a hot air balloon, right? Well, there are different shapes of whisks. There are whisks that are just strips with balls at the end. There are ones that are flat. Each whisk has a different, the ones that is a little peak. Each one has a different function, okay? But basically, it's to whisk, to beat something up, right? In this case here, we're gonna beat the egg yolks, mix with the sugar and the wine, and then we're gonna heat it up over the double boiler. And scientifically, what's happening here, it's different than egg whites, or it's different than making vinaigrette, or it's different than making whipped cream. What you're doing here is the gentle heat, it's gonna be a gentle indirect heat, is going to relax the proteins in the egg and kind of make them unfoil because proteins are coils and they're kind of gonna loosen up. And then you start beating them up for things. And what happens is the miracle of eggs, because eggs are an amazing ingredient, they're going to puff up and they triple in volume. So if you start with half a cup, with the sugar and the liquid and the egg yolks, you're gonna end up with 1.5 cups. So another smart thing is to have a bowl large enough so that you don't have Zabayon pouring out. But that's what you're gonna do here. The downside is because you're cooking this over steam, right? Or gentle steam, you bring it to a boil and then you put it down to a low simmer, is you can make scrambled eggs. So there's a little bit of a technique here to avoid that from happening and to achieve the final result, which is a fluffy, delicious, thick custard. And finally, what we're gonna do here is to then serve it with fresh berries that I already have washed and ready to go. So egg yolks, sugar, and wine. Let's get started. Nothing crazy here, side to side, okay? A lot of people waste a lot of energy when they're whisking things, and it's more for show than anything else. You just want to apply force. This is physics now. You want to apply force so you're incorporating air, and then chemically speaking, as the egg unfolds, it kind of folds itself around that air and creates that fluffy mixture. This is egg yolk, right? It's completely different than making meringue and working with egg whites, okay? This is working with egg yolks. So what I do is once in a while I take it off the heat and I whisk it outside of the heat, so I'm working with the residual heat. That's also another thing that you don't see in recipes. Can you see that it's getting frothy already? That's what you want, right? This is the air, and also the frothiness is coming because now the egg is starting to expand, and I'm gonna put it back on the steam. Again, the bowl has to be large enough to fit the opening of your pan, but it cannot touch the hot water, okay? If it touches the hot water, then you're gonna end up with cooked eggs. So I'm not doing a lot of effort, guys. I know it sounds like it is, and people get intimidated with doing anything with eggs, and Sabayon specifically, because of this whisking. Oh, my hands are gonna get tired, like when you're making mayo, but it really isn't. I'm just kind of shaking things up. This process is gonna take about 5 to 7 minutes. And you keep going, and it already smells delicious because as it warms up, also the Marsala wine starts to evaporate because you want to cook down some of the alcohol. I mean, I love my Zabayon boozy, don't mistake me. But it's not the objective here. You want to cook down that wine and just have the beautiful reduced flavor of the wine in your custard. There you go. Oh, it's starting to get, I don't know if you can see, but it's also starting to get lighter in color. So as you incorporate air and it kind of expands, the egg yolks lighten up in color. That's very important because if you don't do this process well, it's going to taste yolky. It's going to taste eggy, and it's kind of disgusting. The other thing I wanted to tell you about, well, we'll get to that point. There's some recipes, and I've seen some techniques on the internet. I've been doing this a long time, and I've always done it by hand. But I've seen some recipes and techniques that they put a hand mixer here and they beat it up. Does it go faster? Yes. Is it more, less tiring for your hands? Probably. But I think it bruises the eggs. But that's my prejudice as a chef. I think you have a better control if you beat it by hand. So I don't know if you can see, but it's also starting to thicken. So you will see lines forming on the egg yolks as they cook. I didn't time myself when I started. I should have asked somebody to time me. But I think I've been doing this for, 3 minutes maybe or 4. So I don't know if you can see, but it's really starting to thicken up and continues to lighten up in color. There's 2 ways that you can check if this is done. Number 1, we'll see by consistency. We do what we call the ribbon test. And if the eggs form a ribbon, which means you move them around and they don't come back, they're done. Or you just stick a thermometer in there and you read it, and the eggs are cooked around 145 to 150 Fahrenheit. And that caught me now. I think it's going to be around 68 or 70 Celsius, roughly, okay? So, can you see it? How it's getting lighter in color? And you probably cannot see accurately on that camera how it's getting thicker, but I can totally see from here. Also, I have here an anti-slip mat. I forgot to show that to you. One of those, you can buy them in the supermarket or hardware store. And they're so handy because you can do this and it's not going to be flying around. So I'm taking off the heat and whisking it a little bit so that it doesn't overcook. It's not that hard, right? I know it's intimidating, but trust me, it's not that hard. We keep going. Oh, the smell of the marsala is amazing. Oh, woo. I wish you could smell it here with me. It's delicious. Yesterday, after I did all my testers and my pictures, I actually ate this off with a spoon. I am so bad. I know I am. But it was so delicious. Starting to thicken, but it's not on the ribbon stage yet. So keep moving around. Also, clean the edges of the bowl every so often so you don't have the eggs that are settled here on the side cooking, So it's kind of important that you don't have scrambled eggs there. We're almost there. It's really getting to a thick point. I would imagine, again, I'm not timing, but I'm thinking I'm about around 7 minutes. If you have more egg yolks, this could take up to 10 minutes, 10 or 11. Again, you could try to do it with a hand mixer if you want it. I don't like it. I think it's too strong. Even on the lowest setting, it's too strong. And it creates, the balance here is to unfold the proteins of the egg and thicken it as it gently warms up. And I feel that with the mixer, it kind of makes the eggs froth up too fast without, the cooking aspect going with it, without the proper heat. So it's more of a mechanical frothing than a combination of heat unfolding the proteins and then cooking it. I don't know if you can see, but it's starting to form a path that you go with your whisk, and it's thick. I hope you can see. Oh, I have a dollop on my thumb. It's so tempting to suck it. Oh my God, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it because it's not sanitary. I'm almost there, guys. Almost there. So what I'm gonna do, actually, again, I'm gonna show it to you. See how it's forming a thicker ribbon? I'm gonna do like another 15 seconds or so. I'm gonna take it off the heat and I'm gonna measure the temperature just to show it to you. And there's carryover cooking, which means there's residual heat that continues to cook it. So, yeah, this is it. Can you see? Beautiful, right? So I'm going to clean my thumb so I'm not tempted to do something I should not be doing. And we're gonna measure this temperature. Come on, baby, talk to mommy. 100. 120. You can go actually a little bit more. Let me do another 15 or 20 seconds. And the reason why I'm doing this, cooking a little bit longer, is because it's safer for you. You know eggs, right? So once you heat the 140, 150 Fahrenheit, or 68 to 70 Celsius, around that area, no salmonella anymore. So this is a perfectly safe recipe for your family, for your kids, for yourself. That's extremely important. Also, the longer you cook, as long as you cook it right, that eggy flavor goes away. It's really thick. It resembles, if you ever made Hollandaise sauce, it looks like Hollandaise, though Hollandaise is a completely different technique. It's an emulsion of eggs with butter, but you see that? You see how thicker it got? Yeah. So even if you don't have the thermometer, yes, you can do it, because this is what you want to achieve. You see, you want your eggs to form this ribbon, so when you pour it, it stays in place. It looks a little bit like when you almost finish with brigadeiro. Okay, so I'm just gonna turn off the heat. This is done, guys. This is really done. I don't want to overdo it, because then it becomes scrambled eggs. Let me take this out of the way. So if you don't have a thermometer, just look for this consistency. It's very thick, very, 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 very thick, very creamy. Okay, and it's called ribbon. It's a ribbon stage. Okay, it forms a ribbon, and it doesn't go away easily. Or if you open it, we call this in the industry also the parting of the seas. If you go like this and it doesn't come back too fast, it's like parting of the Red Sea, right? Okay, so let me get this out of the way. Now, seriously, you can totally eat this on your own. I'm really, really serious about this, but I'm gonna show you how to do it with berries, which is the traditional. So here I have a concoction of different berries. I have blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries. I have my mother's champagne glass in honor, as it was one of her favorite desserts. You see how it holds shape? As it cools down, it's gonna thicken even more, because that's what eggs do, right? Once they create the structure, that's what happens when you make any kind of custard, you know, creme brulee, cream cheesecake, our famous flan. You know, the eggs are an amazing thing. They are really phenomenal. So I have blueberries, I have a little bit of raspberries, and then the strawberries. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to put a little bit of blueberries on the cup. Then get this out of the way. Then I'm gonna get one of the strawberries. I'm gonna hull it, or take the core out, cut it in half, and then slice it. And it's good that the cream is cooling down a little bit, because you don't want it to serve. I don't like serving it, you know, uber piping hot on top of the berries. So they're just gonna be, you know, lukewarm or room temperature. Then you put the strawberry slices around to decorate. Right? I'm gonna taste it because, well, because I can, I guess. Oh. Okay, goodbye. See you later. No, I'm joking. Okay, look at how thick this is. You would think there's whipped cream here, right? So you just put some of that cream in the middle, just a little bit. Now you go back to the blueberries. A little bit more. Go there, baby. And some of the raspberries are more delicate, so I don't like to put them in the middle because they kind of get squished. I'm gonna put. Look at how precious this one. Look, it has the stem. Isn't it a precious thing? I'm gonna put it here on the top to decorate. Well, actually, no, you come back here, baby. We're gonna put 1, 2, 3. Then, of course, more goodness, because hello, the berries are just an excuse. Look at how thick it got. And the more it cools down, the thicker it's gonna be. Oh, I hope you are in. Look at this beauty. Oh. Then you take a little bit of powdered sugar and dust it on top. You could put chocolate shavings, chocolate decorations, toasted nuts, toasted almonds, zested orange, zested lemon. Oh my God. Can you see? Can you all see? You can put any fruits you want, really. Anything that will go. Just remember, it's an egg custard. As long as it jives with an egg custard, it's fine. There's certain things that don't go with this, so I wouldn't do like cantaloupe or melon or papaya. But any fruit that will go well with this kind of sauce on top, you know, go for it. Kiwis, pineapple, all the berries, grapes. So far, so good? Okay, let me get this out of the way. And now I want to show you the other dessert I made. So I'm going to keep this here, actually here on the side. And it's Memorial Day on Monday, so very American traditional holiday. So I made a American tiramisu, sort of American flag tiramisu. It's, so what I did here is, hope you can see while I was explaining. So I whipped some cream on the side, heavy cream, nothing in it, no sugar, no vanilla, nothing. Just I whipped it to stiff bake. For 2 egg yolks like this, about a cup. Then what you do is when this is completely cooled, you put a little bit of that whipped cream here, fold it with the spatula, so you lighten up this mixture. Then you transfer this mixture back to the rest of the whipping cream and kind of fold it together. So now you have a whipped cream, a Zabaglione whipped cream, which is what I have here. You can see the lighter color, right? And then I did like a tiramisu, or in Brazil we will call it a pavê. So I have the lady finger cookies. I made a simple syrup, 1-to-1, and this recipe will be in the blog. 1-to-1 relationship, so 1 cup of water, 1 cup of sugar, and I put 1 tablespoon of the Marsala wine, so it would have the same flavor profile. If you don't want wine, you can just do vanilla extract. I cooked until the sugar dissolved, about 5 minutes simmering. Let it cool down completely. And then you assemble. So you soak the lady fingers, put it on the bottom, half of the cream. I kind of scrambled some of the berries, you know, in the middle. Another layer of lady fingers soaked in the syrup. And then I put the remainder of the cream, smooth it out, and then use the berries to decorate it with the American flag, because it's a very American holiday. You could have done all kinds of different things. I put some of the strawberries on the side so it looks pretty. I just think it shows pretty in glass. You could do it in ceramic, even in plastic if you want to. The importance is that it will taste amazing. So it was just folding this onto some unseasoned whipped cream that was beat up to a stiff beak. Last but not least, you could add some gelatin to this mixture of whipped cream and Sabayon, and now you have what we call a stabilized cream. And with that stabilized cream, you could actually ice cakes. So you could do a white cake or a yellow cake, make some of that syrup, let the sponge soak it in, put the cream, put the berries, and then ice it with this. The gelatin will help it hold it in place, decorate it, and you have yourself a very original cake. Any questions? I'm opening the floor because this is a shorter demo. This is a very easy thing to make, and I would like you to, you know, ask away. I know somebody asked if you could use other fruits. Yes. Somebody asked me If you don't have a thermometer, how do you know? I think I answered that. So now you know it's, you know, with the texture and the consistency. You can do it completely alcohol free. Again, just use good extract, a good vanilla extract or almond. As far as wines are concerned, as long as it's a sweet wine, it can be anything. The traditional, again, is with Marsala, which is a wine, a fortified sweet wine from Sicily. What else? I think that's it. It's a lot of egg. It's a lot of sugar. It's very powerful. Most restaurants that you go that they serve Sabayon will be made tableside, and they only do minimum for 2 people because, as you can tell, it's considerable amount of work. You're not going to do that for 1 person because the minimum that you can do is 1 egg yolk, and that's already 2 servings. So, any questions? Come on. Say it now or forever hold your peace. I want to see if you guys are going to make it. So far, nobody posted anything that I taught here. I want to see cheese bread. I want to see the dough. I want to see all kinds of things. Pupusas. Any questions? Okay. Then today was a shorty. It was a quickie, but goodie. I just wanted to show you something that is really near and dear to my heart. Very delicious that now I'm probably gonna eat like crazy once I'm off the camera and lick my fingers. This guy, about the tiramisu, it has to rest, okay? I made this about 2 hours ago, so I am not going to open this or probably until tonight or tomorrow, okay? How long does it last in the refrigerator? By itself, less than a day. You gotta use it. This you gotta make it and you gotta use it. If you fold it with the whipped cream and you stabilize it with gelatin, you could hold it a little bit longer, okay? But this is not something that you can hold, not at all. So if you're gonna make it to serve with berries the way I showed here, then make it and serve it. Because as it cools down also, you see it's gonna start getting really thick. It could potentially separate a little bit and then you whisk it. But if you did a good job whisking it with the heat on and off, you won't separate because it stabilizes with the heat. If you fold it with the whipping cream, then again, it's you know, how long a whipped cream lasts in the refrigerator before it deflates completely. And then after you decorate or you put it in a tiramisu like this or in a pie or whatever, cake, cupcake, once you put it, then it lasts, I would say, because it's got eggs and it's very fresh and cream and everything, I would say 3 to 4 days. I wouldn't hold it more than that. But then again, I challenge you to have it, you know, sitting in your refrigerator for that long. I know this is not going to last till Monday. So it's not really going to be a Memorial Day dessert because it's going to be gone before Memorial Day. All right, I think this is it, guys. If you don't have any other questions, thank you so much. Some people are tempting me to go ahead and eat and lick my fingers, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna be a good girl. I'll take another sampling though. Okay, I love you. Thank you for joining. And now I'm going to go eat quiet in a corner. I'll see you next time. Again, if you have any questions or if you have any requests of something that you would like to learn how to make, please let me know. This one I'm specifically dedicating to my sister Fernanda because she said she wanted to make Zabayon. So this is for you. I hope you enjoy. I hope it helps you. And I hope you make it. All right? Bye, guys. Take care.